Hello, Internet. My name is Ryan Ingram, and this is...
Jackson Ingram.
Yep, he's an Ingram too. And this is the basement of our abandoned mansion project. So if you remember what it looked like from the video walkthrough that we did last week, there's already been some serious improvements. What do you think's different so far?
It looks a bunch cleaner, and we're tipping up some concrete.
Yeah. All right, so here today from this basement, I wanted to go over some things that we've done on the property so far, and also just our overall strategy on how we're going to handle this going forward. So far what we've accomplished is we have gotten the roof pretty much completed. There's a couple of areas that are gonna need to be done over the next couple of weeks. We're waiting on some materials where I mentioned in the dormer, we're gonna put the scallop siding. We had a little bit more trouble finding that than we anticipated. And then we also need to finish out the roof on the bay areas and the little bump out over a side porch. But once that's done, the roof will be 100%. You getting hot? You can take your jacket off. Feeling better now? Good. Another thing that we have successfully done is replace the water main. So originally we had a lead pipe coming to this house, but given all the kids that we have, that wasn't a good idea to keep that thing around. So now we've got a new 1-inch copper water main coming in to service this house, and it's actually coming in right over here in this side little room. So again, if you remember through the walkthrough, this used to be a really creepy hallway, but now it's all opened up. So this is going to be a bedroom here in the basement, along with a mechanical room, a bathroom, and then that water main area will probably turn into some kind of weird closet. But I had my reservations about finishing this basement out to begin with, but at this point, I'm feeling pretty confident in it. It obviously still needs to be cleaned up a bit, but all of these windows, there's about 10 windows here in this basement, and they are all plenty big to count for egress. So that'll be fun, nice and safe. And then behind us this way, in this room over here, that's gonna be my wife and my children's homeschool room. So that's gonna be pretty much your classroom all the way through high school. How do you feel about that?
Cool.
All right, is there anything that you want to talk about this week? What's that?
We're still working on removing staples. It's been a giant challenge. We keep ordering staple tools, and they are just forming. These are like the really skinny staples, but these ones are just. But the tools that we're ordering are for the like giant staples.
Yep, so we had a good surprise, and that is upstairs when we were removing the all the vinyl tile and vinyl flooring over top of the hardwood floors. It came up pretty easy, but they stapled some hardy board or some masonite over the floors to protect it, which is great. I'm super appreciative, but what they left us was a ton of staples.
They used red to make. There's like 160,000 left.
Wow, and that's gonna take us a long time to get up. We've got about 8 hours so far into removing all these staples, and we've only gotten about 20% of one room completed. But that's a good point. So that is what we've done. Other than that, we have sistered a lot of the damaged wood, and we have also replaced a lot of the subfloor. We are almost 100% on the flooring so that there's no more holes in the floor, which is nice when people are coming in and out of here. There's almost no risk at this point of anyone unknowingly falling through a hole, which is a huge plus if you're working on this property, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Yeah. So when we first started this project, we didn't do a good job talking about strategy or sharing that with you to begin with, because one of the things that we really wanted to do as soon as we decided to take on this project, we had to get the building stabilized. So we really needed to plug up the holes in the roof by replacing the roof. And then from a structural perspective, we had to rip down all the ceilings so that we could assess all of the joists and all of the structural integrity of the home. And once that was addressed, we're now to the point where we can slow down and be pretty methodical about what we do next, because now we have a very clear picture, if not a perfect understanding of what we have to work with. So now that that's done, the biggest things that we're going to focus on right now are getting the utilities on. So if a property sits vacant for this long, you have to do a lot of inspections in order to get these utilities on.
Dad,
so, yes?
You can go ahead.
Okay.
I was just about to say something
Okay.
you might want to do.
Okay. The power company, the electric, that should be turned on, and we should have power to this property the week after Christmas. So that week between Christmas and New Year's is when this building should receive power. And then plumbing, running new supply lines and repairing the drain lines as necessary, that should take place sometime then as well. The gas line that fed this property was retired, so we're gonna have to completely redo that. And from the time that you apply for new service until the new line is installed in the property is about 5 weeks, and we're about a week and a half in from applying for that. That's where we stand on the utilities, and here next, that is gonna be the biggest thing that we need to do. It's pretty much, it's gray season here in Ohio, so it's really dark inside the house. You'll see that as we show you some footage as we're speaking, but the neighbor is kind enough to let us use power from their house. So we are running a lot of extension cords right now, but it's working out very well. And also, it has been raining a lot here, and we've really been able to see, now that we have the basement completely cleaned out, we're able to see that it is in fact a dry basement, so we're not taking on any water, which is also great.
Dad?
Yes, sir.
When you're done talking, should we show them the wood up there?
Yep, so what we're actually gonna do is, they're gonna be able to see that while we're talking about it, because we've already taken some footage of that. So what we're gonna do is, once we're done talking, we're gonna take some video footage, and then we're gonna edit it into the video while we're talking. Pretty cool, huh? What else do you wanna show them?
Nothing, I just want to say something.
Go ahead.
My dad liked the floors up there so much on the upstairs, and he was like, maybe we should just flip these floors over and make them look at the bathroom.
Yep. So that's a good point, and that is that one of the surprises that we had is we peeled up all the tile on the second floor, that green and white tile, and at first we were really excited thinking that we had some hardwood, because in some places it looks like they finish it at one point even through all of the glue that was holding those tiles down. But upon a closer review, we noticed that it is in fact just subfloor. So there's only one layer of flooring right now on top of the joists, which isn't really common for these types of homes. So I'm told, I'm sure some of you have some experience and may point to some examples where there's just finished hardwood right on top of the joists. But from my understanding and speaking with people in this neighborhood, that isn't very common. So I've gone ahead and made peace with ordering about 2,000 square foot of 2 1/4 hardwood flooring. Yes,
We
sir.
showed them the concrete.
Yep.
Busted up. So I'm gonna move all the tools then.
No, it's fine. We can. I took a video of you earlier using a sledgehammer, so we could paste that in right as we're talking right now. It'll be fun, wouldn't it? I had the idea for a brief moment to just flip the floorboards upside down and finish them, but that wouldn't actually work.
No, it would be a silly idea.
Yeah. Sure enough. So we're busting up this basement floor because there were some trees growing out of the side of the house whenever we found it, and that kind of damaged the floor underneath. So we're just gonna bust up the parts where it's really unlevel, and that way we get a smooth, level finish throughout the entire basement. Since we have aspirations of using all of this space, we really want it to be as even, as level, and usable as possible. Speaking of usable, the next biggest thing that we're gonna need to do is address that addition. So next week on Wednesday, we're meeting an architect out here, and we're gonna redesign the addition.
we're even going to tear it down and rebuild the whole entire thing and make it like another 10 foot bigger.
Yep, we're gonna add 10 foot to the backside. Not that this, not that this house needs any more square footage. It seems a little bit absurd to even do that, but one of the things
it's
that...
just, the balcony is only like from that door thick to that like broom. That's like how thick it is.
Well, they can't see that, but yeah, it's about, yeah. One thing that we definitely want is a first floor laundry room and also a second floor laundry room. That way we don't have to haul laundry all the way down to the basement.
That's what we have to do right now. Mom just has to carry these giant laundry baskets and go.
It would be a lot easier though if it were just on the second floor where all you kids are gonna live. And then we'll have a laundry chute from our room on the third floor to the laundry room on the second floor.
And one on the third floor.
Yeah, well, we won't have a laundry room on the third floor. But the reason that we
I
won't
thought we were having one down here.
No. Nope. We're not gonna generate any laundry down here.
Why? I thought you said you were going to make a laundry room up there and one down here.
Just the first floor and the second floor. Yep, and the reason for the first floor is just to wash all the kitchen towels and all the other stuff that comes through. Maybe really dirty clothes that don't even deserve to come into the house because your kids were splashing around in mud.
Are there four floors in here, like the basement, the top?
Yes.
4 floors in here?
The basement, the first floor, the second floor, and the third floor. 4 floors.
Yeah.
So the last thing I wanted to talk about today in this video is the budget. So a lot of people have asked me how much I think this is gonna cost. And before I made the decision to do this project, I went through and did my very best to go line by line to figure out how much this is gonna cost us and whether or not we would be too far upside down when it's all said and done. And fortunately, I think all the numbers work out. We had a subject to appraisal done, and it came back right around $400,000 to $450,000 once it is all said and done. And what I think we're gonna have to put into this property is somewhere around $200,000. Now, as soon as we have $200,000 in this house, we will be moving in, regardless of what condition it's in, regardless of how finished it is or isn't. That'll be pretty much what we do. Now,
and we're gonna live in a construction site.
If that's what it takes, yes, we will. So.
I wouldn't want to sleep for a construction site.
Well, they wouldn't work at night when we're trying to sleep.
Dude, we'd be like, hey, my kids are about to go to bed. Could you just leave so we can go to bed?
Yeah, we'd only have to have that conversation once before they knew. But
because we could tell them what time we go to bed.
We sure could. So the ballparks of what we're thinking are about $35,000 for the electric to completely rewire the home from the service all the way through to every single outlet. We will probably have about $30,000 into the HVAC system. That is both the actual mechanicals and the labor. We've got about $12,000 into the roof. We still have to repair all the soffits and fascias, which will probably be another $10,000. And ultimately what I've realized is once we get the place dried in, once we get all the utilities on and functioning well, then it really just comes down to time and preferences, right? Like when I realized that there was only subfloor in the second floor, I thought to myself, well, we could just go ahead and put carpet in and that would help us maintain budget. But ultimately what we're gonna do is we're gonna go really slowly. We're gonna put about $10,000 to $15,000 per month into the property, maybe more some months, maybe less some months. And whenever things get tight, we'll just either add more time or change our preferences to accommodate some cheaper materials or something like that. But that is what I'm thinking, and ultimately, I think that's what we're gonna do. Hey, before we leave, we almost forgot. We need to thank our sponsors, Color and Style. So if you live anywhere close to Ohio, feel free to give them a call for any of your cabinet and flooring needs. I'm sure they'll be able to get you a fantastic price.
maybe paint.
Maybe paint, but probably not. All right, well, thank you so much for watching this video and staying updated with us. I'm sure we're going to come across a lot of obstacles, hurdles, unexpected things, and hopefully some more big wins as far as the ease to repair this. At this point, even the smallest of things feels like a huge win. So this basement is one, I think, as it is no longer creepy, and I think it's going to be some really good usable space. So every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard, we will release a new video with all of the updates from the previous week. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.